Hi everybody, this is Andrew Ottman with an episode of Academic Spotlight, a series that we're doing on the colleges of Middle Tennessee State University. In this episode, we're focusing on the College of Basic and Applied Sciences, and with us is its dean, Dr. Greg Van Patten. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
You've got a big college. I'm going to go over a lot of the things that you cover, and we could spend 2 hours talking about the diversity of your program, but College of Basic and Applied Sciences covers a diverse set of departments, including biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, computer science, aerospace, agriculture, concrete industry management, engineering technology, geosciences, and military sciences. Wow. So what does basic and applied sciences mean?
So in my mind, the basic sciences are those that are fundamentally studying the nature of the world and the universe. Your chemistry, your biology, physics, mathematics. The applied side is those fields that are really man interacting with the world and harnessing those sciences and those concepts. So your agriculture, your aerospace, your concrete science, and your computer science are really how I divide those up. And you're right, it's a diverse group. We've got airplanes, we've got cows, we've got quantum physics. We've got a lot in the college, and it's been a big learning experience for me as I've taken over.
You've taken over from your roots as chair of our chemistry department. You've had to learn a lot of these great programs as its new dean. Your college is the largest of our 5 undergraduate colleges in terms of the overall number of majors, 4,000 plus undergraduate majors, a lot of diversity in there. You're also very visible. You've got all the things that we take pictures of. You've got those planes in the air. You've got those cows at the dairy barn. You mentioned aerospace. Let's talk about the investment that's coming forth for that.
All right, so yeah, we are building our fleet to account for the large growth we've seen in that program. We're adding airplanes, and the big thing we're also doing is we are moving our center of operations for the flight training from Murfreesboro down to Shelbyville. The Shelbyville Airport has about 3 times the land area of the Murfreesboro Airport. We've got more room for our planes and our flight training activities. And it really offers us a chance for further growth and to design the space and the land, the buildings, exactly the way that they are optimized to serve our needs.
Big investment by the state of Tennessee, north of $65 million given for the growth of that program, for that expansion into Shelbyville. I know we've been welcoming new planes to the fleet. Very recently, new Piper aircraft, twin engine, and also our Diamond aircraft. Expanding those as well because we need more planes because it's a fast-growing major, right?
It is a fast-growing major. It's driven by high interest among students, but also driven by the workforce needs in the region and the nation. There are estimates that we lose about 14,000 or need about 14,000 new pilots every year, and all of the programs in the country are only producing about 6,000. And so this is producing a real crunch for the industry.
And we're poised to help address those needs. The Concrete and Construction Management School has moved into a brand new building in 2022. We're very proud of that, and that's one of your applied sciences too, correct?
That is an applied science. This is 2 programs. We've got construction management and we've got concrete industry management. Again, very high workforce needs for the graduates that we've got in those areas. And I think a lot of students expect that they're going to go into this and these are sort of blue-collar fields. But the management side of this is what we are really focused on. And so we are producing students who are going to go and lead these industries, be in jobs in management and eventually in executive fields. That building that we've built is state-of-the-art, and we don't do anything less than that here at Middle Tennessee, it seems. But it's a working lab in itself. So the building has every type of construction relevant concrete that you can imagine. So the students can go in, see it in action, see appropriate applications of that, feel it, and see how it works. And there are also construction and design elements of the building where we've sort of peeled back the walls and doorways so that students can look and learn how these buildings are designed and the parts that make them go, from the mechanical parts to things and structural components in the wall. It's all been opened up so that the students can experience it and use the building itself as a laboratory.
And it is a beautiful building. And coming right next door pretty soon is a building for our engineering technology department of majors, which includes mechatronics.
That's right. So we've got our mechatronics engineers. We also have several different concentrations of engineering technology in that department. Also very important and in high demand across the state. We have good industry partnerships with that group, and that building is we're well into the design phase, and that also looks like it's going to be a state-of-the-art building for those programs.
Mhm. We describe all of these buildings in a row as the science corridor of innovation, and at its very heart is the $147 million three-building complex anchored by the fantastic science building, which my daughter came to MTSU after looking at those laboratories in that science building. That's got to be, continues to be one of your pride points, correct?
Absolutely. So that's the building I call home. That's
Yep.
where my office is and has been for the past 10 years. And I love being there. I feel spoiled to come to work there. That building came online a couple of years after I got here. I went through the whole construction and design phase when I arrived here. And you're right, it is truly state-of-the-art. The laboratories, the teaching spaces that we have in that building allow us to do things that would have been unthinkable in our previous space. We can combine laboratory and lecture in seamless ways in these classrooms because of the visibility and the ability to use media within even the laboratories, the teaching laboratories.
Mm-hmm. And you've got off-campus facilities. Dr. McPhee, our president, calls those the agriculture campus. You've got a dairy farm in Las Casas with some agricultural expansion out there, but also the Tennessee Miller Coliseum houses our horse sciences. So talk about those two auxiliary parts of your college.
Right. So we do have the Ag School has actually several pieces. We've got the dairy farm you mentioned, the Guy James farm. We've got a beef plant or a beef farm, a hog farm, and then the Horse Science Center up north of Siegel High School. And yeah, these are all key areas for experiential learning for the students who go out and learn in these fields. The dairy farm, which also is an experimental farm for our plant and soil science folks, is over 900 acres. And that's something that people don't really necessarily...
That's huge.
It is. It's bigger than many of the land grant institutions that are out there. We're not technically a land grant institution, and so people don't think of us in the same league with some of these other schools that are, and yet our facilities beat those at many of these other universities.
Wow. Wow. And horse sciences continues to get a lot of attention. A lot of our students compete in national competitions and equestrian competitions. Gets a lot of that as well.
That's right. We had 2 national championships just
Right.
this year. The equestrian team and the stock horse team won national championships.
I feel like we should give a nod to geosciences, which also has done some fantastic work.
So our geosciences program really has done a lot of great work lately. They've built a new environmental science program. That program is growing quickly and producing students who can go out and serve the world in new ways and work toward a more sustainable future. And that's something that we're really proud of as well.
And you're also home to one of our most popular growing majors, computer science as well as mathematics.
So computer science and mathematics also very important, and those guys are going out and doing great things, getting jobs. I want to comment that those 2 programs in particular are really the foundation for our new data science programs also. So we are the only university in the state that has a bachelor's program, a certificate, a graduate certificate, a master's program, and a PhD in the data science area. So this is a new and burgeoning field, and it takes students who are interested in anything from coding to statistics to deep data dives, and gives them tools that are really, really relevant for modern industry. And just about any industry needs the experts in this area.
Dr. Ron Henderson would not let me let you off this program if I didn't talk about physics and astronomy, because they really do a great job of connecting with students, not only in the major, but also the entire campus.
So physics does exactly what you're saying. They teach their majors, but they also teach general education courses that are huge. They're very popular, they're well regarded. And the physicists are an example of, the physicists at MTSU are an example of something I'd actually like to mention. Science and engineering and math courses have a reputation for being difficult to learn. They involve difficult concepts, and that's true everywhere, whether you're at MTSU or anywhere. That means they're difficult to teach also. MTSU and our college have a cadre of STEM education researchers and STEM education experts that's world class. And so this enables us to help with student success right from the classroom, to do a great job in the classroom using modern methods of teaching, making sure we're actively engaging the students in their learning. And it's research evidence-based teaching methods that we're using for that. And physics is a prime example of that.
Well, they're wonderful. Shout out to Military Science, the home of our Army ROTC program, 17 general officers among its alumni, which is a huge accomplishment in its 70-plus years. So, Dr. Van Patten, when you describe our university, when you describe your college, what's a sentence? What's your elevator speech?
Wow. So I think that the thing that makes us great is our attention to what is important for the students to get out of college, and that's the experiential learning. It's learning outside the classroom. We cover all the same concepts that other universities do in the classroom. We teach you all the same things, but we can give you experiences because of our one-on-one availability of our faculty and because of these great facilities that we've talked about, like the farm, the airport, can give experiences to students that they won't find at a lot of other universities. That includes their work in the research laboratory as well. We can make almost all of our undergraduates have the possibility to do undergraduate research, faculty-led research, where they're going to be the actual discoverers. They're going to pose questions to nature in the research lab and be the first people on the face of the earth to know the answer to that question. And this is exciting. This is what makes science exciting. We've got that experiential learning side, and then we've got the student success side that I talked about a minute ago. We take what are typically difficult courses, difficult concepts, and we do our best to make these accessible to all of the students, all of the learning styles that come to us, and all of the students who come to MTSU. And in doing those two things, I think we do a great job of taking all of the students we bring, a diverse class of students, and preparing them to take positive steps into their citizenship and their contributions to society.
Dr. Greg Van Patten, Dean of the College of Basic and Applied Sciences. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Academic Spotlight. I'm Andrew Oppmann. Joining me now is Dr. Lori Witherow from our admissions team. Lori, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We've got a lot of stuff to cover.
Okay.
The most important talking point, December 1st. Why do we keep on saying that over and over again? Apply by December 1st.
Students have to apply by December 1st in order to be considered for our guaranteed scholarships.
When you say guaranteed, that means if I have the application in by December 1st and I meet these criteria, what happens?
They're awarded a scholarship. This year, for the first time, we're adding a top-level band of scholarships, and we call it our Centennial Scholars. So with a 34, 35, or 36 ACT and that 3.5 high school grade point average, student is guaranteed $8,000 per year. We have other awards like the Buchanan. That is a higher award.
That is, and let's talk about the Buchanan. It is not in the guaranteed academic scholarship band because it is application driven, correct?
Right, and a very competitive award. We have top tier students from all over the state and all over the country applying for that award, so very competitive.
Lori, I think a lot of people aren't aware that there are wide bands of students that apply to MTSU that could come to MTSU tuition free, correct?
Sure, under lots of different circumstances. Some of those merit-based, some of those need-based, or a combination of that. So I'd like all students to go to the website and check out that, look for more information, www.mtsu.edu/mtfree.
After December 1st World, we're recruiting year-round. We want you to apply by December 1st, but the reality is, for whatever reason, some people don't hit that deadline. And that's sad because they lose the guarantee, but we don't want to say, don't consider us if you find yourself in that boat. Are there any scholarship available to people who apply after December 1st?
Yes, I reserve some of my scholarship budget for those students. They're not guaranteed awards. I'll award them until the money runs out in the scholarship budget. And they're not quite as high as the guaranteed awards, and that's why I really want students to meet that December 1 deadline.
I hate to sound like a broken record, but I really am. If you meet these qualifications for the scholarships, it is just in your best interest to apply by December 1st.
Absolutely.
And like you said, we've got all of this information and more is on the website, mtsu.edu/apply. Dr. Lori Withrow, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And that does wrap up this edition of Academic Spotlight. As Dr. Withrow said, apply by December 1st if you want to be considered for our range of academic scholarships, guaranteed. I'm Andrew Ottman. We hope to see you soon on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University.